Welcome to Chapter 7, Lesson 4. I'm joined in the studio by Jalen and Ryan. You guys want to say hi real quick? There they are. Okay. We may hear more from them. I don't know. So we're done with Prohibition. This is the next page following Prohibition. If this is 2012, then we'll begin on page 113. But if it's 2013, I don't know what page I might be on. But we'll see. So let's start with, these are 3 separate pages of notes, but they're pretty quick, so don't think that there's a whole lot going on here. So first, on page 113, the results of improved transportation brought about by affordable automobiles. So now we have the Ford Model T, because of the assembly line, made very affordable. Now people can go places. Greater mobility. People can drive around and go almost anywhere. They have a saying that in Europe, they think 100 miles is far. In America, we think 100 years is long. Because now we're just used to driving everywhere for a long time. Next, so we have people coming from other countries, immigration, HEAR, hope for opportunity, end to oppression, adventure, religious freedom. And we have the Great Migration, I move. So moving because jobs are scarce in the South, jobs are good in the North, racism in the South, and discrimination still in the North. But because of that and other factors, people are kind of leaving the inner city, if they can afford to, and going out to the suburbs. So escape from cities to suburban areas. That's where we are right now. We could call Leesburg a suburban area. So we have the escape from cities to suburban areas. Oil. Road construction. And steel. So we have all the industries that you kind of need because of transportation. Those industries get this big boom. Industries related to transportation grow, making these guys very happy. So Rockefeller Oil, Carnegie Steel, doing very well as the car gets better. You need the steel for the car, the oil to make the car go, and I can't really think of a road construction captive industry, but anyway. So because of this, now we have hiring in those industries, and industries that make the cars, and the industries that make the gas stations, the road construction, the steel, the rims on your car, the goofy lights under your car, the hood ornament industry, the car deodorizer industry. All these industries grow. Creation of jobs. And lastly, we're just going to reiterate the I, which is those industries that are related to cars that grow: oil, road construction, and steel. 3 specific parts of transportation that I'd like you to know about. Now, the very clever among you may realize that this spells GEICO, which helps explain that weird lizard hand on the left-hand page. Now turn the page to what could be 115 this year. And you should have a little drawing with a bunch of weird snake things, and I'm having it kind of sideways. On your paper it might look like that, woohoo, or like that. So it's going to be sideways, but just to make it easier. These are the ways that electrification changed America. So now that Thomas Edison has helped with making electricity usable, and with all these power plants we can now use them, these are the ways that electrification changed American life. There's 3 ways that electrification changed American life. Get out of the way. First, electric lighting. So now the dark ages are over, and everybody can see. So now you can do things at night. before nobody ever did anything at night, ever. Everything stopped. That might be an exaggeration. The second thing, entertainment, communication. So we'll look at this with the next section on communication, but the best example of that, e.g., radio. We'll eventually see movies, and many decades later, well, not many decades later, a few decades later, television. But right now the big thing is radio, and then you go to a local movie theater and watch movies. That's how people might get their news, also by movies. So entertainment, communication, another big change. And lastly, labor-saving devices. So things like washing machines, electric stoves, water pumps. All these things just make life a little bit easier. So we can see things, we're more entertained and better able to communicate, and our work is getting easier. This is how electrification changed American life. Now we're going to turn the page to 117. And this guy pities the fool. These are communication changes. I pity the fool. So Mr. T might be a lost reference. Maybe no one knows who he is anymore. But Mr. T, things that are involving communication changes. So I mentioned movies, the moving pictures. People don't have a way of getting this into their homes still. They're still using a projector. If you can afford a projector, you can project it at home. But the movies. So now we see these movies industries developing. Charlie Chaplin, a very popular guy at this time. Buster Keaton. So the movie industry develops. And the radio and broadcast industry developed. There's two guys that I'd like you to know that are on the bottom of the page that has to do with that. We'll look at them a little later. And the T. I hope you won't put television as the answer. It's the telephones. We're not to the TV quite yet. But the telephones become increasingly available. And for us, you guys think that this is just a no-brainer, but this actually would have been a little unusual. If you didn't grow up in a world of telephones, the idea of needing to talk to somebody far away when you can't actually look at them in the face would seem kind of strange. And even today, you know, some generations, like they just want to look at someone in the face if they're going to talk to them. It seems strange to talk to them far away and not be able to see them face to face. But the telephone is becoming increasingly available. So the two guys that I would like you to know, Guglielmo Marconi, or if you're me, Googly Elmo Marconi, and David Sarnoff. So Guglielmo, or Guglielmo Marconi, as it's properly pronounced, invented the radio, or kind of like just a wireless telephone that allows you to broadcast one way. And I wrote a little song for you, a little ditty. If you want a message sent without a telephony, you can use the radio invented by Marconi. Hey, Guglielmo, keep it up, Guglielmo Marconi. You invented radio, and that is no baloney. Yeah! And David Sarnoff. David Sarnoff kind of takes the radio, which would have been a way of calling for help, a way of, if your ship is sinking, the Titanic would have sent out they did send out a radio signal to call for help. David Sarnoff realizes that if you put entertaining stuff on that kind of broadcast and sell advertising time, then you can make some money off of this invention. So Guillermo makes the invention, and David helps to make money off of it. Well, helps himself make money off of it, and helps to drive the broadcast industry, which is, like using a telephone to send out radio programs. So a little number here to help you out with that. My ears and eyes are glued to tape. Whoa, back that one up. My ears and eyes are glued to radio and the TV because David Sarnoff helped create the broadcast industry. David Sarnoff, he signed up as CEO of NBC. Their broadcasts are still on. Doom, doom, doom. If you still listen to NBC or watch NBC, you'll hear that sound, that doo, doo, doo. That's the kind of xylophone thing they would hit on the radio broadcast to let you know that you're listening to NBC, because otherwise you might not know. Anyway, David Sarnoff, Guillermo, and Communication Changes. Mr. T. I pity the fool. That's all for Lesson 4. We'll see you for Lesson 5 when things get a lot more depressing.